The stakes go through the roof. Chicago Fire showrunner explains how Stella's pregnancy changes things for Season 14. Chicago Fire Season 13 ended with one special surprise for Stella Kidd, Miranda Ray Mayo, and her husband, Kelly Severide, Taylor Kinney. The couple have desired to expand their family for some time now, and adoption had been nailed down as the preferred route to getting it done. However, before the season ended, Stella announced to her husband, Kelly, "We're pregnant." Given that Stella had preferred adoption, this switch is notable and significant. While speaking with TV Line, series showrunner Andrew Newman was quizzed on what this change means for Severide in the coming season. "I think so," Newman responds on the potential for exciting new storylines in Season 14. The difference between when a male firefighter gets pregnant and when the female firefighter is pregnant, I think, is really interesting to explore, and how each are affected, and also being parents at the end of the day and the stakes. When they're a couple, there's stakes for sure, but when they've got a baby, the stakes go through the roof. So those are all the things that we can play with going down the line. Exciting. As previously mentioned, adoption was the preferred road to parenthood for this couple, and this dramatic change, as welcome as it is, seemed unexpected. Newman explains that a lot of it had to do with the evolution of Stella's character, noting that she has changed, and much of that transformation is tied into her brief experience taking care of Natalie. An equally key factor was the events at the hospital during their attempt to adopt a baby. Despite the disappointing nature of it all, it made the couple stronger and showed Kidd she was a lot stronger than she envisioned previously. While Stella's pregnancy is a welcome surprise, and how Season 14 explores, it will be quite exciting to see. That will not be the only big change coming when the show returns in the fall. From character exits to changes in career priorities, Season 14 of Chicago Fire seems poised to have everything. There would even be a shake-up of the CFD itself in Season 14, Newman revealed recently. Tune in to NBC this fall to watch Chicago Fire Season 14 and see what happens to Stella, Kelly, and the rest of Firehouse 51. Stay tuned to Collider for more updates. When Chicago Fire returned from its spring hiatus, fans were hit with a revelation that not even the most die-hard Severide shippers saw coming. Stella Kidd is pregnant. The news, quietly revealed in the final minutes of the episode as Stella clutched the positive test with trembling hands, instantly reshaped the emotional architecture of Firehouse 51. Now, with the show barreling toward the season finale, showrunner Andrew Newman is pulling back the curtain on what this means for Stella, Severide, and the entire squad. "The stakes go through the roof," Newman says with a smile during our exclusive sit-down. "This isn't just about a baby. It's about identity, duty, fear, legacy. Every theme that Chicago Fire holds dear gets lit up when a firefighter finds out they're bringing new life into the world. The firehouse meets parenthood. Stella Kidd has always been a firecracker, fierce, focused, loyal to the bone. From mentoring young girls in the Girls on Fire program to rising through the ranks of the CFD, she's battled sexism, imposter syndrome, and near-death experiences with grit and grace. But pregnancy, that's a battle of a different kind. Stella's always defined herself by her ability to be in the thick of it, Newman explains. Now she has to figure out how to step back without feeling like she's letting everyone down. According to Newman, the pregnancy storyline isn't just about physical limits. You've got a woman who's used to saving lives every day. Now she's protecting a life she can't even see yet. That changes her relationship to risk, to her job, to herself. In next week's episode, Firehouse 51 will begin to sense something's different. Mouch notices Stella's unusually subdued mood. Ritter catches her hesitating on a call. Even Bowden, ever the rock, can't help but raise an eyebrow. But it's Severide who feels it most. He's never been great at dealing with things he can't control, Newman says. And there's nothing more uncontrollable than pregnancy. Severide's soft side. For fans who've watched Kelly Severide evolve from brooding bachelor to devoted husband, the prospect of fatherhood is a full-circle moment. But don't expect him to take it in stride. There's a quiet panic under the surface, Newman reveals. Severide lost his father young. He's watched friends die in the line of duty. His whole life, he's carried this fear that the people he loves will vanish. Now, with Stella pregnant, that fear gets turned up to 11. In upcoming scenes, Severide will wrestle with a cocktail of joy and terror. He'll confide in Cruz, who gently reminds him that fatherhood doesn't require perfection, just presence. There's also a powerful moment between Severide and Bowden, in which the chief tells him, "You don't prepare for parenthood. It prepares you." Newman teases that while there will be challenges for Stellaride, the writers are determined to show them growing stronger together. "We didn't want to fall into the trap of immediate tension and drama," she says. This is a love story. It's about two people navigating something life-changing with all the tools they've learned from each other. Squad 3 shifts. Of course, Stella stepping back from action affects more than just her and Severide. With one of 51's strongest leaders temporarily sidelined, the team must shuffle to compensate. Newman confirms that there will be a new temporary lieutenant stepping in, a fresh face from another house, which causes immediate friction with some of the regulars. Stella leads with heart, says Newman. The new lieutenant is all protocol. There's going to be some clashing, especially with Ritter and Gallo, who've grown under Stella's mentorship. There's also the question of Girls on Fire, the youth program Stella founded. We've got a beautiful subplot coming up where one of the girls, Naomi, steps up in a big way, Newman says. Stella begins to realize that nurturing the next generation doesn't always mean being on the front lines. Emotional ripples across 51. Pregnancy may be a personal journey, but Firehouse 51 is a family, and families feel everything together. One of my favorite scenes is a quiet moment in the bunk room where Brett offers Stella a pair of baby socks she knitted. Newman shares. No fanfare. Just one woman telling another, "I'm here." Cruz, already a father, becomes a quiet guide for both Severide and Stella, helping them laugh at the chaos and cry when it hits too hard. Herman, ever the wisecracking dad, plans a firehouse baby shower with wildly inappropriate decorations that Bowden begrudgingly approves. It's about showing joy, Newman insists. This firehouse has seen so much loss. We wanted to celebrate the small, happy moments that make it all worth it. The season finale, Fire and Family. When asked if the baby will arrive this season, Newman is tight-lipped. Let's just say we're ending with a bang, but not the kind you might expect. There will be a major incident in the finale, one that forces Stella to confront her greatest fear. Watching someone she loves get hurt while she can't join the fight. It's a test of trust, leadership, and vulnerability. It's an emotional roller coaster, Newman says. We're asking questions like, can you be brave when your body tells you to stay still? Can you be a leader when you're not on the field? Without giving away spoilers, she promises a finale that's deeply human, full of fire, but ultimately full of hope. The long view. So what does the future hold for Stella, Severide, and baby kid? Newman says the writer's room is already dreaming big. We're excited to explore parenthood in this world. Firefighters are superheroes, but they're also moms and dads who worry about daycare and diaper bags. And for Stellaride, they're the emotional anchor of the show, Newman says. We've thrown everything at them: distance, danger, doubt. But this baby, It's not a test. It's a continuation. It's their next adventure. As Firehouse 51 gathers to celebrate the news in an upcoming scene, complete with sparkling cider in place of champagne, one thing is clear. The stakes may have gone through the roof, but so has the love. And in Chicago Fire, that's what keeps the flame alive.